Just heard the pitch from Vincent Sanchez Gomez for his company called Pagevamp. So it helps small businesses create their own websites via Facebook. Our panel today, Mark Peter Davis of Interplay Ventures, Alice Lloyd George of RRE Ventures, and Dave Lerner. He is the Director of Entrepreneurship at Columbia University. Mark Peter Davis in the hot seat. What did you think of the pitch?
That was pretty good. Congratulations on getting into the game. Should I jump in with a question here?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first question for you, how do you think about customer acquisition? Once you have a core business like this, a product you can go out and sell and market, usually it's about balancing the economics between the cost of acquiring a customer and then monetizing it over its lifetime.
Right. So for us, a lot of the challenge is not so much the cost, but the strategy of approaching the market. So most of our customers are actually international customers, and that comes with its own set of challenges, which might be language, sales culture, and a lot of other things. And figuring out the right formula for that is really the challenge, but once we do it and we've found a few ways to go about it, the cost comes down, because we're not looking at a blanket marketing approach and just measuring ad spend. So it's a unique approach, but when you find the right place, it's inexpensive.
Vincent, before I open it up, I'm just curious, what does Facebook think about this?
Yeah, so we look at our relationship with Facebook as being mutually beneficial. They've provided a very easy platform.
Do they see it that way?
We'd like to think so, because we're actually adding value to the platform they've built. They've created a very easy way for businesses to upload their content, and we're adding value to that by allowing them to cater that content in a way that makes sense for their specific businesses.
So Alice, what was your take on the pitch and what you've heard so far?
Yeah, thank you, Vincent. You're obviously a passionate entrepreneur, and clearly there's demand for this product in the marketplace. But I will say that making website creation accessible without ever touching a line of code, that's been happening for a while. You know, there's these simple browser-based folks like the Wixes and the Weebly's of the world that have been doing this for a while. And on the content management side, the Hootsuites for dashboards. So you're coming from the Facebook pushing out updates approach, which is definitely a very useful hack, but I would say in general that automated services like this, they top out pretty quickly and get commoditized. So it comes down to the dynamic upselling of advanced features and functionality. But even then, it doesn't seem to me like it's a winner-takes-all market. So I'm wondering what your take on that is, especially as building a brand is pretty tough when you're pushing content out to templates. How do you intend to approach that?
Right. So Facebook provides a certain level of content for us of the business, which could be photos, some general business information, updates. But we don't want to just focus on Facebook to website creation, as well as the features that make sense for businesses to have. So restaurants obviously have different needs from photographers, and we want to do something more meaningful with the content from Facebook. And down the road, that may mean incorporating platforms other than Facebook and other services. But really, our general approach to website building is, rather than create an environment that small business owners have to learn, that's a barrier for them to enter the product, we're using the products that they're already using and making something more meaningful out of that. And as we build out that platform, that's going to add even more value than just what you'd think of as standard website. And because of that, we see ourselves having a long-lasting relationships with the small businesses rather than just in and out.
Dave, what's your take?
You know, I see this as a really cool product. I mean, if I'm running a bar, if I'm running a restaurant, I don't want to go onto a traditional site and have to, update my page. I go to Facebook. Everybody knows how to use Facebook. But is this thing inherently viral? Do your customers share it with others when they do it, or is it just a point-by-point acquisition of customers?
Right. So one thing that's inherently viral about the product is that when people use it, they love it. So Facebook is obviously a viral product. It's growing incredibly across the world in developing markets, huge markets like Indonesia, Brazil, and these are places where there are small businesses that have almost no online presence at all, and really their only online connection with a product is through Facebook. So that's a software that they already know how to use, and we're piggybacking off of that. We're saying, hey, you're already using this product, you're good at it, why not create something value for your business with that skill, rather than having to pay money out to an agency or learn some service on your own, which may leave you out of the game altogether.
So Mark, based on what you've heard, would you introduce Vincent to your investing partners?
I think there's a lot of players in the space, but it's not a winner-take-all market. It's really going to boil down to your ability to acquire a customer for less than they're worth. And as some of these easier, more viral strategies you're talking about, like leveraging Facebook and otherwise, kind of get exhausted, it's going to be a game of figuring out the mechanisms to do that profitably. I'd be happy to introduce you to my partners, but only after you've got that marketing equation figured out. You know what it costs to acquire a customer off of Facebook.
Got it.
Alice, it sounds like that may mirror your view more or less, but still.
Yes, I think I actually would bring you in because I do think that having a digital presence is a must for any small business in this day and age, and I like your emerging market approach to it as well. Having said that, I do agree it's not really a defensible market right now, so I'd want you to come in and have a strong argument about, you know, there's some really compelling network effects here, or why your product is best suited to win.
Dave?
Yeah, I'd want to have you in, obviously, because I like what you guys have done, but I want to see what's the big vision here. How do you transform this beyond what you've described today? And if you can do that, I'd be really interested in hearing what you have to offer.
So 3 yeses to 3 intros. You're all right, Vincent. We thank you very much. So Vincent Sanchez Gomez, he is the founder of Pagevamp. And a thank you to our judges, Mark Peter Davis, Interplay Ventures, Alice Lloyd George, RRE Ventures, and Dave Lerner, Director of Entrepreneurship at Columbia University. We have a very quick break to take.